Hi, it's Malcolm from Acrospray. Bit of change of scenery today, and I apologise for any background noise that you might hear. I want to go over the machine and get you orientated around what parts go where and the correct terminology used for them. This is a high pressure hose, not a pipe or a cable. Just take a quick minute to give me a like, it would mean a great deal to me. If you have any questions about it whatsoever, leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot. First things first, the basics. So we have the pressure washer itself. We have a high pressure hose, we have the gun and the lance. Now the high pressure hose can come in all sorts of different lengths, different thicknesses, twin wire and single wire, but at the end of the day it's still just a high pressure hose. This is what you need to be calling it. The gun or the gun trigger, there are different lengths, different styles, they all look different, but this is the gun. And then you've got the lance, again all different lengths and different styles, from dirt blaster, dirt killer lances, everything like that. We have the pressure washer. The hose connects to the pressure washer, the hose connects to the gun. The lance connects to the end of the gun, and that's where the water comes out. That is a must, and that is the very basics that you need to know. Let's start on with the pressure washer. So we have a pressure reducing knob. This is the main unloader, but we can call it a pressure reducing knob that is attached to the actual unloader inside the brass. We have the pump itself, so this big brass area at the moment is the pump itself. Behind the pump we have the piston guidance. This is where the oil seal sits. I can show you that a little bit later on. We have an oil sight glass. This is where you fill your oil to, so you can see the oil and see if there's any damage to the oil. We have the oil filling plug. On the oil filling plug, it doesn't say what oil it is now. Well, they changed that on me. So we've got an oil filling plug. Underneath, you can see it, the little brass nut there is the oil drain plug. Each nut on the front of the pump is a valve cap. So behind here there is a valve. I can show that a bit later. This is the outlet, so the high pressure pump outlet. We have the pressure gauge, and remember the bubble is supposed to be there. This is filled with a glycerin damping oil for the needle. You have 3 valves in the bottom, all covered by a cap. You have 3 top valves covered by a cap, and the center one has the connection for the pressure gauge. We have the micro switch box on the side. You wouldn't have this if it's a standard machine. So this is the main micro switch, and behind this cover here is where the actual micro switch is, the actual switching mechanism. These are the cables. This is the mains cable and plug. Self-explanatory really, but people do still get it mixed up. We have the mains motor, which is between my thumb and finger. The fan cover at the back end, and behind the fan cover is, you get it, the fan. We have the electric box, and this is the electric box cover. This is the switch cover here with the little rubber grommet for it. We have a switch, on-off switch, and we have the capacitor. If this is gone, your motor will buzz and hum, and then it'll probably be blowing a fuse. So that's pretty much the basics behind there. Let's go deeper into the pump and see what's there. So I've loosened it off, but the actual water coupling on the side of the pump, and then behind the water coupling there is a filter, a little white filter that you can see inside. Behind the valve plug, this is what it looks like. So that's a valve plug with the O-ring on it, and then you have a valve which you can get some long nose pliers. That's a valve. There are different colours of valves and different spring strengths and sizes. Just got to make sure that that is clear and it holds water properly. Inside there will be the O-ring, which is the O-ring for the valve seat. That's slots in there, and it will fit in like that. So once you've taken all the little screws out of the microswitch box, you can take the lid off the microswitch box and you're met with the microswitch itself. This is wired only with 2 wires, and make sure they have to go on them too, otherwise it will not work. If it's plugged in and you touch this, you're going to have pretty much have a bad day. So make sure it's unplugged before you start messing around with the electrics. You've got the piston that's behind here, and that piston comes out and hits the switch to turn the machine off. It's a very, very simple idea. We can go through that on a different video on how to fix the stuff. When you put the microswitch box on, have the Kranzle written outwards like that. Don't do that. It will still fit, but it messes with my OCD. So once you take the Allen key bolts out of the pump head, you have 2 long bolts which are at the top on both sides, and 2 short bolts for the ones underneath. They will only go one way, so you can't get them wrong as such. Once you've done that, you can grab the pump and just rock it up and down until it slides off. Normally when you take the pump off, you'll get the seals caught on the pistons here and the brass collars stuck in the housing. I'm not going through a instruction on how to fix the stuff or which way it goes. I just want to orientate you to where the seals fit in a certain distance and things. So I'll get them all out and put them all in a row so you can see how they fit in. Okay, so it's not an instructional video on how to fix it, just showing you what parts are what. If you do strip it down, I advise putting some sort of tissue paper or something that's going to be clean, so you don't get any grit or dust in the seals, which the pistons can wear the seals away or damage the pistons in any way. You have 3 main water seals that's in the main brass pump body. You have brass collars which have water seals in, along with a backup ring or a support disc with the washers on either side of the brass collar. You shouldn't need to replace a brass collar unless this is really, really loose. When you get a brand new set and it's loose and it's waggling about, then you would need to replace it. There's also an O-ring on the brass collar that will need replacing and does come with a water seal kit if you need to. In behind the piston shaft there is a brass ring. That's a spacing disc between the actual brass collar and the oil seal behind it. There are 3 oil seals, 1 on each piston, and then an oil O-ring behind this plate. If you do buy the plate, it comes with the oil seals already installed and the O-ring behind it. Remember, if you do take these bolts off, you've got pistons with quite tension springs, so you need to take these off very evenly, like a tightening up a car tire, but the opposite way. So just little by little, corner by corner, until it draws off. And when you do take it off, the oil will drop, so make sure you can catch it and dispose of that properly. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. It's not an instructional video, but as long as you get to know your machine, you'll be able to fix it a lot easier. And you'll be able to order parts a lot easier because you'll be saying the correct things to us.